Farshidbagherian is a political analyst who joins us. Farshidbagherian, welcome to the program. When you take a look at these protests, it's quite incredible that from the Western point of view, the notion of freedom of expression is the basis for these protests to go ahead, even though they come out condemning it. Isn't that somewhat contradictory when they condemn the act, but under the freedom of expression say it's okay for it to happen?
Thank you very much. This kind of act has nothing to do with the human rights and human rights respect. This is another thing. I believe that this is the part of the point of view of political vision for coming years for the EU, because if you try to find the historical fact regarding the EU, especially Europe, against Muslim, you can find, for example, Theodulus Bishop burned Alexandria library during, the ancient era, and Hypatia, the first woman philosopher, also burned, and Stefan Tempier. This is a very famous law in 1277, famous law in 7 March in Paris. They burned 219 Ibn Rushd books, and this is not the first time that they're doing this act, and desecration to the Muslim. This is some kind of the crucifying the belief of more than 1.5 billion people of the world. This has nothing to do with the human rights. This is different things. I believe that for example, when you see the far right is spread over all around the EU by means of Italy, by means of France, by means of Spain, because today they have the election, and the motto of the far right Vox Party is enough of Muslim. This is some kind of the crusade against Muslim. And you remember the George Bush the son after the September 11, he told, he noticed us that the crusade against the Muslims is starting in the beginning by the invading the Iraq. And I don't believe that this is some kind of the human rights and freedom of speech and something like that. Okay, I'm ready for your next question. Yeah.
Sure. This is another way that we're looking at the demonization of Islam and Muslims, okay? And I'm wondering whether they are using this as a pretext to continue their Islamophobic attitude towards Muslims by provoking them, because they are sure that they're going to get a reaction, and they're probably betting on the fact that they're going to get a reaction that's going to be filled with violence. We've seen obviously some of that unfolding, and quite rightly so. It's justified because of the fact that Islam's holiest book is being desecrated. Is this perhaps a way that they are doing this, or looking at it so they can point the finger and say, you see, Muslims are extremists, for example?
Look, please, the United States, the Anglo-American war is dealing with the exceptionalism, because they set apart themselves from the other world, and they consider themselves the first category of human. Right now, EU is wiping off not only the belief, is wiping off the Muslims, is wiping off the nation, wiping off, they're sterilizing their nation because of the economic, situation in Europe, the migration, and they cannot accept any other Muslim, because the Muslim is growing all around the world by means of the knowledge, by means of science, by means of power, by means of
Okay, looks like we lost Farshid. Farshidbagherian, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Your screen was frozen. If you could just continue. If you could just continue with the statements, please.
No problem. So I don't know what how much of my speeches came to you, but again, I'm talking about the behavior of expansionism of the United States that is spread over right now in the Europe, because they are setting apart themselves from the Muslim, and they are wiping off the nation, not only the beloved. They are not desecration the holy book. This is not only book. This is the belief. This is the nation. This is the identity. So I believe that EU itself is terrifying, but they're spreading over the Muslim by means of the power, by means of the, the knowledge, capital, and any other thing. So it's some kind of the point of view of the political, path or maybe route for the coming years for the EU, and we can see by spreading over the far right, and they are making their enemy, they are making themselves an enemy of the Muslim, and the desecration of the not only the Bible, the Holy Book, and they will grow the violence against the Muslim in coming years. I believe that. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. Farshid Bagherian, political analyst. Thank you.